right, friends, this is just the quick update on this far garden. This is our pepper plants, and these are some of the hot pepper plants. They are getting very bushy, but they are also, I think they were a little stressed when they came in, so they are already starting to put on flowers. Now I could take those flowers off, but honestly, even if that's all the flowers that they ever put on, that is plenty of peppers for me. So I'm gonna let them go, and we'll just kind of see how things go out here. The eggplants are looking okay. They have survived. Flowers, working on it. Tomatillo plants also starting to put on some flowers. The tomatoes look amazing. I don't know if you can see how tall these are, but that's, I don't know if you can see that. That's my hand in comparison. So these are probably 1.5 feet tall, 36 inches. And we just planted those a couple weeks ago, so they are doing great. This bed, I keep weeding, and it's gonna be fine though. A lot of this is dill, so what looks like weeds is actually here on purpose. Again, we grow way too much dill to feed the caterpillars. But our squash plants are up and started. So again, butternut squash. There's supposed to be another one here somewhere. I reseeded the other day. We'll look for that again soon. And then you can see these in here with all the weeds and the dill. But a couple of zucchini plants are coming up. So we are gonna water everything today. It could use a good soak. And then down here on the other bit, we have, again, things are growing pretty well, but obviously weeds in the walkways. Some flowers on the end here. The pepper plants look really happy. The tomato plants are a little bit smaller, but they were started a little bit later when we decided what they wanted. We have one little cucumber that sprouted, so we did reseed cucumbers in these holes, so we'll try and water those again. That's the kale. It's doing pretty well. And hopefully we'll get a couple kohlrabi out of that. I had one of these baby boo pumpkins. These are the white ones, and only one of those sprouted. And then the baby bear pumpkins on the other side sprouted pretty well. The beans have been holding up reasonably well. The bunnies did get a couple, but not too many. So that's way better than I was expecting, to be honest with you. There's some radishes and some carrots just hanging out doing their thing. The potatoes are looking pretty good. Most of them have come up. It looks like we have a little spot here where maybe they didn't quite make it. And then the onion bed, which we weeded a couple days ago and could probably use it again, but keeping up with the weeds up here is pretty tough work. All right, so we're just gonna get everything up here watered. Most of the exciting stuff was the other garden. We don't have a lot of harvesting to do up here yet. Most of this is summer stuff, so. All right, folks, we'll see you back for harvesting on the other side. Good morning, folks. We are in the garden today on this beautiful day, just to give a quick update, and then at the end we'll do some harvesting. We will have probably showed you all the stuff at the far garden first. But what we have out here is just tons and tons and tons of stuff. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you what we have. So first we have this giant bed of strawberries, which are putting on tons of strawberries. And some of them are starting to turn. Now, if we were being very good stewards of these strawberries, we would cover this with bird netting because the birds really like to get in here. If we were being truly good, we would also just dig it all out and get all those weeds out. But in the meantime, the strawberries are happy, so we leave them be. We have lots and lots of herbs growing. Our chives are going to flower. We will probably dry some of those. Our oregano is almost ready for a second cutting down here. Our dill is growing very well. We finally have some cilantro starting to do something, so we might actually get a harvest. That one's just a mixed bag of It was supposed to be cilantro, but the dill self-seeded itself. But we might actually get a harvest of cilantro. We have done a couple of harvests of dill already, so a lot of this dill that's left is probably going to be for the butterflies when they come. And then this is just a really nice sweet spearmint that we use for teas, and that'll be ready for harvest pretty soon here too. So then in the backyard, we're having a little bit of trouble with some of our fruit trees today. We have been getting beautiful irises from a couple different patches of irises that we've been taking inside as cut flowers, which has been really nice. I feel like by now normally we would have had buds on the fruit trees. This is the peach tree and the nectarine tree, neither of which has had any buds on it yet this year. So we're still keeping an eye out. Maybe they'll still come, but I'm starting to get a little more skeptical of that. These are the pansy or the poppies that we just threw in here because we didn't have space yet in the flower bed, and they are going crazy. Pepper plant's looking good. Spinach will probably be ready for another harvest in a day or two here, but we'll also be doing a lot of processing of the spinach we've already picked today. The pepper plants are reasonably happy. The kohlrabi are finally starting to put on some little baby kohlrabis, so hopefully we'll get some of those pretty soon here. The basils are still alive. Again, some little patches of cilantro. This whole thing was supposed to be cilantro, but we've got a couple little patches that are doing not so badly. And then again, more poppies. This is the last of the radishes in here, which again, as part of our processing day, we're probably gonna pickle up some radishes. And then this rest of this spinach will probably also be ready in another day or two for another big harvest. Back here, we've got our peas growing and very happy. Hopefully they will start to put on flowers pretty soon here, and we will start getting some peas. We do not grow shelling peas because that is just far too much effort. So these are sugar snap peas where you can just eat the whole pod. Some lettuces that are still doing okay. The arugula always goes to seed or goes to flower very, very quickly. But you can still get these leaves off of it, and it's still pretty yummy. The garlic is doing really well. We don't have scapes up on those yet, so they'll still be at least another month or so. The raspberries are going crazy and starting to put on the first flush of flowers here for the raspberries. So we should have summer raspberries on these, and then on some of the newer canes that are just up this year, they will probably put on for the fall. But in the meantime, we are getting excited about maybe getting some raspberries. This poor little cherry tree is still just a poor little cherry tree. It did put on a few flowers this summer, so we do have a few cherries on that cherry tree from that pollen, but the lemon balm is growing ridiculously well. All of the flowers in here are doing really well. This fencing really has minimized how much munching the bunnies have done. You can tell they've still gotten in here a little bit because those are both sunflowers, and that one did not have the top munched off, and that one did have the top munched off. So still a little bit of damage, but all in all, the flowers are looking pretty good. So I'm super excited about those. This is our old little patch of flowers with the irises too, and then these alliums, these purple ones, and those have just been a nice addition to our spring table inside, getting some good color indoors. So that's what we have on this side of things. We will make sure we show you what's in the far garden as well, and then we will come back to that brassica patch over there and show you what's going on over there and do some harvesting. All right, guys, this is one of my favorite times of year. We are gonna start doing some big harvests, and today it is going to be broccoli. A lot of these broccoli are ready, not all of them, but a lot of them. So some of the ones that are a little bit smaller and deeper, we are gonna let go ahead and stay here. But a lot of these bigger heads, we're gonna go ahead and take today. So these are pretty easy. I really just go down to the base of where the head starts and cut. Now for broccoli, that's it. That's what we do, because the broccoli on some of these, you can see, will send up these extra shoots. So I will leave a bunch of these broccoli even after I take the main heads, because it will send up lots of these little extra shoots and I will get a second harvest from that. But in the meantime, let's get to harvesting. So once I've harvested all of this broccoli, some of it we will leave for fresh eating, but a lot of it we will blanch and freeze and keep in the freezer. We've just found that that is the way that we like it the best. We then use it in stir fries and soups. Broccoli cheddar soup is a favorite among the children. So one of the few ways I can get them to eat their vegetables. I think we probably also have a few cauliflower that we're going to collect today. And then once we've decided, so the broccoli will resend up shoots, the cauliflower will not. So once the cauliflower is collected, we will just go ahead and pull those out. I know a lot of people like to just cut them at the base and leave the roots in the ground to decompose, and that is a great plan. But for us, I'm going to plant carrots there. So it's actually kind of nice to pull up all the roots and get that soil kind of loosened up for those carrots. And then in this section, once I do take the broccoli out, we will be planting just some bush beans, and that will put some good nutrition back into the soil, because these broccolis are very heavy feeders and take most of the nutrition out of this bed. So, all right, look and see. I know I have at least one cauliflower in here that is overgrown and ready to come out. Like I said, I'm just going to twist at the base and pull the rest of the limbs out. And the rest of this just goes into the compost. I could keep these leaves, and you can treat them like greens or like kale, but I have so many other greens growing that we're just going to let these compost in the compost bin. All right, I'm going to keep harvesting and we'll see you on the other side. All right guys, the next step for all of this, I picked one a little small, but we got a few cauliflower here. Got one purple one. It's I think lavender was literally the type it was. This was one of our twister hybrids, which obviously did a very good job of keeping that cauliflower covered with its own leaves so that it was white and beautiful. But I did pick these a little on the small side just because our cauliflower seemed to be opening up pretty easily this year. It's been hot, cold, hot, cold. So anyway, all of this broccoli is going to go in there. We're just going to fill this up and add a couple tablespoons of salt. And then that'll just, if there are any bugs or critters in there, you know, cabbage worms really like the broccoli. They have been sprayed with BT a few times, but and then we'll just let them soak for about half an hour just to make sure that we have gotten rid of any critters that might be trying to be in there. And then after that, we will set up a pot of water on the stove, get it nice and boiling, salted water, and then blanch the broccoli for really only about a minute or two before we take it out, cool it off in an ice bath, and then get it into the freezer. So that's the plan for that stuff. All right, and this is the end of our preservation day. We got 2 jars of pickled radishes, 2 jars of pickled cauliflower, including the purple, which is why it's that beautiful color. A little bit more cauliflower just for the freezer, 2 trays of broccoli. So I just flash froze these, so they're frozen already. So when I put them in a bag together, they won't stick together. And then 8 individual, they'll fill about a quart-sized bag, but they came from gallons of spinach. So that is the extent of our food preservation for today. 'Tis the season. See you guys soon. Bye.